Alright, so a couple of updates on the Nova here. Just stuff from past videos to follow up on, I guess. So first thing is the transmission leak. I tried to fix it with some right stuff because I thought maybe the gasket on the pan was leaking or something. That didn't fix it. So it's either the front pump seal is leaking or the torque converter seal up further is leaking. I'm not sure which at this point. It's not a very bad leak, but it is leaking a little bit, so I can't really see up in there good enough to tell where it is. I know like the front pump is still kind of wet and stuff, but if it's the front seal up there where the torque converter goes, I can't see up there at all. I did change that seal when I put the transmission in, so it's brand new, but it's hard to say if it got a little tear in it or something happened when we were putting the converter in, or we put that together and this car sat for several months before it got started, so hard to say if it just ended up drying out or something. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning more towards the front pump is leaking, so that might need to be sealed up again. Gonna have to pull the transmission out for that, which really sucks, but it is what it is. Talked to my buddy that's got a little rat rod car that he built, and he's got a turbo 350 transmission in his car also, and it's leaking almost the same manner. He's pretty sure his is the front pump, so I don't know. On that one, I've kind of read online, it sounds like that's not a very common issue for the front pump seal to leak, but it happens, so dealing with that. The other thing with the transmission is I've been driving around a little bit the last couple days, and I noticed when I come back that top of my transmission dipstick fill tube right here would be like wet on top of it. So the fluid was coming up and kind of seeping over the cap or somehow, like, I don't know, the little handheld dealie here you pull it out with was kind of goes through a slot in this cap, and I guess it was seeping up through, so the top of the cap was wet. So I cleaned it off, dried it and everything, and then I went and drove it some more, came back, and it was wet again. So I was trying to figure out what the deal was with that. Did some more research online, and most people said that was due to a clogged vent tube on the transmission. Mine was just seeping, like the cap was just wet, but other people online described like their dipstick being popped out like an inch or something, and ATF just spraying everywhere, or like they were driving around and there was a bunch of smoke or something like that. So mine was not nearly that bad, but I'll try to get under there and show you. But the vent tube that we're referring to is on the transmission, and it's on mine. It's just a turbo 350 or TH350 transmission, whatever. That tube is on the driver's side, just kind of up on the bell housing area. I can crawl under the car and reach up under there, kind of around my header, and I can get to it. So I crawl under there, and I got like a drill bit and some like a little screwdriver and stuff, and just crammed it in there. And a little bit of dirt and some stuff actually did come out of it, so I'm assuming that was my issue. It's just there's just a hole in the side of the transmission, and I think it's like a press fit thing. But it's just a little tube, and it comes out at like a 90. And it bends, and it's like a couple inches long. It's not very big. So I just like shanked a bunch of stuff in there and beat on it a little bit and got some stuff to fall out, a little bit of dirt and things. And then I drove it around some more, and it's not doing it anymore. So I'm assuming that fixed my problem. But I guess some people have said that little tube is actually just falling out of there. So you just have like an open hole in the side of your transmission, but it doesn't really go, I wouldn't say fluid's going to come out of it or anything like that. It's more or less just for like when your transmission gets hot, the fluid can expand in there, and the vent tube just vents out pressure and stuff. I don't know if it's like air pressure or what, but like I don't know. I'm not going to say that fluid just spews out of it or anything, so it's not that big of a deal. The other problem could have been if your transmission's over full, it might do that same issue, just for reference there. But Pretty sure mine was just a clogged vent tube. So if you're having some kind of problem like that, get under there and clean that out, or make sure that hole isn't plugged up with something. But I mean, it didn't run hot, or I mean, it shifted fine. It drove good. It wasn't like slipping or doing anything weird. It just was seeping fluid out of it. So anyway, the other interesting development is I've been driving the car around just as we rebuilt this motor, and I've got just over 100 miles on it, probably, I don't know, 120 or 30 miles on here so far. And it runs pretty good, you know, it idles fairly well and everything like that. It hasn't been much of an issue. The other day though, like a couple days ago, I was driving around, and when I'd be in gear and I would just come like a stoplight or something like that, just be sitting there idling. It was kind of rough, and it had like, it wasn't like it was too low of an idle speed, but it was kind of, it had this like vibration to it. Like my instrument cluster, my dash and stuff was kind of shaky, and my steering wheel was, you know, kind of vibrating a bit and stuff like that. And it kind of had this drony kind of slow sound to it. So I don't know, it just was kind of like that. I was driving around. It wasn't trying to die or anything when I came to a stop. So I just figured that's how it was going to be. It's an old car, right? So just kept on driving around. Wasn't an issue. And I was just sitting at another stoplight a little while later, and I just had my foot on the brake, sitting behind the car, waiting to go. And it just all of a sudden started running smoother, like perfectly, for no reason at all. Like the vibration went away, the drony kind of noise went away, all of that. It just was like idling perfectly. It was quieter. And I have no explanation for why it did that, but I mean, possibly something was in the carburetor still that didn't get cleaned out. A little chunk of something was causing an issue, and it cleared out. I don't know, but so it's a problem that fixed itself, I guess. So it's running just flawlessly now. It starts up good, runs, idles perfectly. I can come to a stoplight and it's smooth. You know, like the RPMs didn't go up or down or anything weird. So it's basically running perfectly now for no reason. I don't know, but good stuff. So anyways, just want to follow up on that. I haven't really had any other issues with anything. It's runs, it seems about between like 180 and 210, kind of goes back and forth. It's not summertime yet, so it's not real hot out either. But I got this 3-core radiator, aluminum radiator in here, and an electric fan. So when I'm driving around, it seems to be working just fine so far. Anyway, so guess I'll update you guys on some other stuff if it comes up, and we'll just see how things go.